Understand what is happening. He went all in and he mucked his cards.
There's still another gentleman, so this gentleman is all in with no cards. I can call the floor for you.
No, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. If I see a card that it's callable, I'm gonna. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Don't say like that. I like DJ.
I'm all in. Resorts World has become my favorite poker room in Vegas. The reason for that are many. The staff is amazing, really polite and welcoming. Tables are brand new, comfortable and technological. The field is soft, especially the 1-3 field. And if you're around Vegas, I highly recommend you to check this place out. Another reason for that is that they never bother me to record at the tables. This is something that is stressing me out a lot lately. Unfortunately, some places just don't let me record, and 99.9% of the times, there is no player complaining me about recording, and the people who tell me to stop are the staff of the poker rooms, which I understand that are their rules, but honestly that's just a highly counterproductive rule, because in the end it's bad for everybody. And I'm glad to see that Resorts World is smart enough to understand that poker vloggers are good for the poker environment, and it's a pleasure for me to bring new players for this room because they deserve it. I finally get called for the 1-3. My name is Romulo Dorea and this is the Poker Prophet channel, the first poker vlog created to help you become a better poker player. First hand I get King Jack suited from the button, cutoff raises to 15. Cutoff is a woman that I have no information about it. Usually when I'm in this spot, I'm gonna join the hand by 3-betting, because I know most of the times I'm gonna miss the flop, and I like to be the aggressor in position. But sometimes I'm gonna decide to flat, and the hands that I'm gonna decide to do so are the hands that develop well post-flop, like King Jack suited, Queen Jack suited, 10 Jack suited. I'm gonna still 3-bet some of the times these hands, but in this case I decided just to flat. The flop comes King Queen Jack with 2 hearts. She checks to me, and now I'm gonna bet to protect my equity. I bet 20, she folds and we take the first pot. Second hand I get 8-9 suited from the cutoff. I raise to 13, button 3-bets me to 35. He decides to go with a smaller size, which allows me to call profitably with 8-9 suited. So that's what I do. I call the 35. We go heads up to the flop. The flop is good for us, 8-4-3 with 2 clubs. I check. He bets 35 again. I'm losing mostly to over pairs now, but I'm winning hands like Ace King, Ace Queen, Ace Jack, Ace 10, Ace 5 that he could have suited. So I believe I'm winning most of the times here. I decide to call and analyze following streets. His effective stack is 300 plus. The turn is a safe one out of the over cards that could come in the turn. The 10 is the one which is less likely for him to have, unless he has something like Ace 10, King 10, Queen 10, Jack 10, which is not as likely. I check again, he bets again, 65 now. If I raise here, I'm gonna be committed if he decides to go all in, so I don't think raising is a good option. I think I should just call again and analyze the following street. So that's what I do, I call. River is a 6, pretty much a blank, doesn't complete no flush draw. 7-9 would get there, but I don't think he has 7-9 that often. I check again, he decides to check back, I show the 8-9 and it's good. Next hand I get pocket 9s in the hijack. I raise to 13, cut off small blind and big blind call, so 4 players see the flop. The flop comes Jack 8, 5 rainbow. Most likely I'm still winning this hand. I see bet 25, button and small blind call, until the big blind re-raises to 75. Now I don't think I'm winning anymore, so I'm just gonna decide to fold and go to the next hand. In the end, everybody folded and there was no showdown. Next hand I'm in the button with ace 10 offsuit. Hijack raises to 15. As I told you before, I'm usually gonna play 3-betting this spot, and that's what I do. I 3-bet to $50. Only hijack calls. I felt strength on her, so after I feel that, I have a red flag, so I'm gonna be more cautious on the post flop, because there are many hands that are beating ace 10 offsuit, and I'm not quite sure she would 4-bet hands like ace jack, ace queen, ace king, or pocket 9s plus. The flop comes queen, queen 3 rainbow. She checks to me. Usually I'm gonna bet here to protect my equity, but because of the reasons I told you, I decide to check back. Turn is a good one, a 10 of diamonds. She checks again, and I'm gonna go for value. I bet $40, she calls. River is a 4, she checks again, and now I'm gonna bet for value again, targeting hands like Ace King, Ace Jack, 9s, 8s, 7s, 6s. I bet 105 now, she folds, and we take the hand. Next hand I get pocket aces, I'm in the hijack, low jack raises to 6, I'm gonna 3-bet here. He is a 50 to 60 year old player that seems to be careless about his chips, and my image at this table is on of an aggressive guy, so I 3-bet to 20, a little larger than I would usually 3-bet with aces. Only hijack calls, we go heads up to the flop. Flop is king, jack, deuce, with 2 hearts. I'm losing to very little combinations of hands, but he'll have a piece of this board pretty often, so when he checks to me, I decide to bet $30, 3/4 of the pot. He calls, the turn is not the best, now I'm losing for hands like king queen, king jack, queen jack, but I'm still winning some combinations of hands. He checks again, and now I could go either with checking or betting. I decide to check back and control the pot, and allow his bluffs to continue in the river. River is a 3 of hearts, flush gets there, but I have the ace of hearts. He separates chips, bets $45, I snap call, he shows queen 9 offsuit, I show the aces, and we take the pot. Little more than an hour of game, winning $260. Next hand I'm in the under the gun, with king queen suited, I raise to 15, button 3 bets 45, her effective stack is like 130, and my image at this table is of an aggressive guy, so she could be leveling with me. It's only me and her at the hand, and because she has such a small stack, I rather just putting her all in, other to flat and play out of position against her. So that's what I do, I put her all in, she calls, it ends up she had ace king offsuit, I show the king queen, and she takes the hand. Next hand I'm in the under the gun again, with 10-9 suited, I raise to 13, cut off, button, and small blind call, so 4 players see the flop. The flop comes 10-5-4, all diamonds, I make top pair, small blind checks to me, I'm gonna bet here, I bet half pot, I think I should have bet a little bigger, like 2/3, but it's okay. Button and small blind call, there are many turns that I don't like to see. The 5 of hearts is not one of them, there's a good chance I'm still winning here. I decide to check, but probably call for a bet. Button bets 55, small blind calls, and now I'm at a tough spot. If small blind folds, I would probably call here, but when she calls, I feel like the majority of the times I'll be losing this hand. And even though it's a 55 call for a 219 pot, and I don't have to win that much for this call to be profitable, I just felt like it wasn't a good decision to continue in this hand, so I decided to fold. Turn was a diamond, a 9 of diamonds, she went all in and he folded, so we didn't see any showdown, but most likely we were losing, especially in the river. In the turn, I'm not sure, unfortunately we will never know what they have. Winning 160 for now. Next hand I get ace king offsuit, I'm in the low jack, I raise to 15, button calls. I feel like she was thinking I was really loose, cause I was raising a lot, 3-betting as well, and maybe she was leveling with me, so ace king is a great hand to have in situations like that, especially when I hit top pair in the flop. If she has a hand like ace queen and ace 7, congrats, she's gonna make a lot of money on me. I bet $20, little more than half of the pot. She calls, which is a great sign. The turn is a great one, a blank, 8 of clubs. I'm gonna keep betting here, but now with my image, I think it's a great spot to go with a bigger sizing and polarize my hand. I bet 55, she calls, her effective stack is around $300. River is a queen of clubs, which is not good. I don't block the ace of clubs, but still, I don't think she will have a queen or a club that often. And here I find myself in a complex spot, because I think I can still extract value from many ace-x hands. And if she has a flush or a queen, when I check, she's gonna bet for value. But if I bet, I'm not quite sure she's gonna raise. And I don't think she is that good of a player that in case I raise, she's gonna re-raise all in as a bluff. So I decided to go with a different line, which is betting 2/3 of the pot. And in case she shoves, I'm gonna just fold, but try to extract value from ace-x hands with this bet. I bet 125, 2/3 of the pot, and she goes into the tank. Now I'm feeling safer, I hope she calls. She shows an ace and folds, and we win the pot. Next hand I get king jack of spades again. I'm in the button, 2 limpers before me. I raise 15. I wanna play this hand in position against them, and I want to allow the hands that I'm dominating, such as king 10, king 9, queen jack, jack 10, jack 9 to remain in the hand. So that's why I make this sizing of $15. Small blind re-raises to $40. The 1-3 feel at Resorts World usually make mistake on sizings. Small blind versus button. He should definitely re-raise bigger than that because it leaves me in a too comfortable spot of calling $25 to play in position against him. So I call and we go heads up to the flop. The flop is great for my hand. I got 2 overs and a flush draw. He bets 40 again. Easy call for me. I just wait for a while before calling, not to make it so obvious that it's an easy call. The turn is great, I make my flush, he checks to me, and now I'm targeting hands like aces, kings, queens, jacks that he has in his range, 3-betting 40 pre-flop. Effective stack is $400, I bet 105, preparing for a shove in the river. Unfortunately he snap folds, and we take the hand. Next hand I get ace queen offsuit from the hijack, 1 limper before me, I raise to 16, I go larger cause my image at the table is of a loose and aggressive guy, so I wanna charge them.
What? 700.
All the table already know I have a vlog, the name is Poker Profit, and I feel like they think I'm pushing them around.
I'm gonna show this hand, no matter what. Okay?
I make top pair in the flop, I'm heads up against this woman, she checks to me, I bet $20, she quickly calls. Turn is a jack, any 9 makes a straight, she checks to me, and I decide to check back and control the pot. River is a 9, she checks to me again, effective stack is like $600, I feel like she will rarely have a king here, and we are chopping this hand most of the times, and I have all the ace king in my range. There's a good chance I would bet the ace king on the turn, but there are some times that I would check back. So here I think it's a good spot to represent ace king. I bet 155, around 200% of the pot. She folds. Next hand I get pocket 7s from the hijack. 2 limpers before me again. I raise $20 in position. Button decides to 3-bet me to $70. His effective stack is 370. Again, my image at this table is from a pretty aggressive guy, so I don't think his range 3-betting me from the button will be that strong. And pocket 7s is a pretty decent hand that is flipping against most of his 3-betting range in my opinion. So when the action comes back to me, pocket 7s I feel like it's a pretty decent hand to put him all in. So that's what I do. When he does a snap call, I already feel way safer. He folds and I take down the hand. Next hand I get queens on the middle position. I raise to 15, only big blind call. We go heads up to the flop. I hit top set, she checks to me. I bet $10, 1/3 of the pot. She calls. Turn is a 6, now she leads out $20. I decide to take advantage of my image at the table and re-raise here. I raise to $55. She pretty much snap re-raises me to 200. I feel like she's pretty strong. Effective stack is like 500 something.
All in.
I put her all in, and I feel like I made a mistake here. I could have totally just called in position and let her go all in the river. She goes into the tank.
If I fold, will you kill me?
In situations like that, I just keep quiet and don't say nothing. That's what I advise for 99% of the players, because most of the times when you open your mouth, you're gonna end up giving out information you don't want to give out. So I just kept quiet. She folds.
It is a nice fold. Yeah. It is a nice fold. I shouldn't show.
Afterwards, she said she had a set, which honestly I don't believe her, because I asked her which set did she fold and she didn't say. Then she started to get mad on me, like I wasn't trying to make her like get angry or nothing, you know. I just thought that when she said she had a set, she was lying. And I don't want to bother no one, but it bothers me people to lie in my face and think it's gonna be okay. And we went to the next hand and she was kind of mad with me afterwards. I changed seats. I felt like I was being respected at that table too much, and honestly I don't like to be respected. I'd rather people to decide to play more hands against me and play more loose. I'm winning around $700 for now in 3 hours and 55 minutes of game. First hand, I'm in the low jack with ace jack offsuit. Under the gun raises to 18. He's an elderly guy that I have no information about him. But ace jack offsuit, I just decide to let that go. I know there will be better spots for me to involve myself in. He shows ace king offsuit afterwards. Okay, now I have to explain what just happened in this table. A guy with his friend was really drunk, he's from Dallas, and there was just one spot at the table we were at, but he wanted to play with his friend. So what he did was just throwing $100 in the middle of the table and say, who wants to give this spot for $100? A guy in my right decided to get the $100 and leave. And when that happened, I regretted a little bit not to take the $100 because, man, $100 is like 2 hours of play and I was already thinking about leaving the table. But then the dealer just looked at me and said, you don't want to leave this table. And you guys will see the reason why soon. The first hand of this guy at the table, he already went all in the dark. He was buying in for the max for $400 and he was going all in the dark. So pretty amazing spot to be at, and just wait for it because the night is just getting started. He went all in the dark. Guy in my right decided to call the all in. King queen offsuit with this guy going all in. I don't think it's a great hand for me to decide to go for it, so I decide to fold.
Thank you.
The man shows ace jack. Ace jack.
Aces and eights. Jack.
And it's good. He kept doing the same thing, all in the dark. Now Joseph, who is a viewer of the vlog, has aces. 3 players in the hand.
Y'all got a side pot for 145. 3 players. Everybody's all in. 150. Yep. That's your side pot. Main pot. That's what you got.
Good luck, bro.
Thank you. I see 3 aces. Let's start that.
Okay, I gotta say something important. One of the players who went all in against him lost like $150, $200 and decided to get out of the table. He was an elderly guy who I'm pretty sure he had money in his pocket to keep going in this table. And if you find yourself in a table like that and you have money to keep going, you just cannot leave this table. Like, there is too much money to be made here. Of course, there is risk for you to lose it. But man, if you are a table like that and you leave this table, you are literally leaving too much money inside the table. So just keep playing, don't leave, and embrace the variance, you know, because through the long run, you will definitely make a lot of money staying there. So there is no way you should leave a table like that. And unfortunately, that elderly guy left. And of course, don't play money that you don't have. But if you have money to invest at the table, that's exactly what you should do, because situations like that are rare. All in blind.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, this guy called.
So I ain't gonna change his mind.
3 hands at this table, he already left it $800, so the $100 that he offered was definitely a bad deal for the guy who accepted it. He kept going all in blind every hand, which is a dream, honestly. Finally, he had the first victim. This is gonna happen sooner or later, and he hits his 8 and wins a $800 pot.
I like you, Jay.
He's all in blind again, now against his friend. You have choices?
Just let me play again.
Okay, yeah.
Unbelievable. Fucking aces.
Okay, that's not a good board for aces.
Show me.
Show you?
Aces.
You got aces? You're fucking killing them.
Yeah, it's on you. It wasn't on you before. It's on you. It's on. Oh, turned off?
Yeah, he doesn't want it all. It's out. It's out.
Okay, he didn't like me recording him. That's why I'm gonna hide his face. Like, I'm not here to disrespect no one. And I understand him as well. He was a nice guy. Like, he was crazy, but he seemed to be a correct guy. And later on in this episode, you understand why I'm saying that.
Are you calling, bro? Hey, don't let him talk to you like that. I mean...
Oh, you call. You call. This hand, I'm in the big blind. He's all in the dark. He calls. King 4 offsuit is not good enough, so I fold. Almost 5 hours of game, I'm still winning around $700. Now I see ace jack offsuit from the middle position. He's going all in the dark soon. I limp. Instead of going all in, he raises 30 in the dark. Under the gun shoves all in for 300 plus. And ace jack offsuit is just not good enough yet, so I fold. Next hand I get king 10 offsuit and I fold again. No good spot just yet to go all in against him. He is still going all in every time, just so you guys know. So he already left it at the table around $1,500 in less than an hour of game. Now I see king jack offsuit. He raises 70 in the dark. One player calls and king jack offsuit is just not good enough again. Joseph is the one that is making the most money on him. Like, he's just getting a lot of great spots, and he is in one of the best spots at the table if you stop to think about it. Because if he's going all in the dark, he is always the second last one to act after everybody else. Joseph wins again. He's already winning more than $1,000 easily from this guy. Great call. Finally, we have a decent hand. He is all in the dark, but I limp because he's not in his spot yet. He goes all in. Everybody folds. I call. 700 in the pot.
No one ever pointed that out. He called.
Here we go. Buckle up.
Not a good flop. Great turn. Great board for me. I show the king queen. He doesn't want to be shown at the camera, and I'm gonna respect that.
Yes.
His game is not good enough, and we finally take the first spot. Hold on, because there will be a lot of spots against him tonight. Winning little more than $1,000 now. Next thing I get ace-7 suited. I call. He is all in the dark again. Ace-7 suited is good enough. He's all in for $266.
I'm not that good.
I call. 140 in the pot.
Call.
Okay.
Thank you.
The board is great for my hand. I show the ace-7.
We got a full house right here.
He shows a jack.
Jack, 8 or 6, he wins. 8.
And yes, he has an 8, and we lose this hand.
266. How does the jack do this? Where's the 8?
266.
No, but he said jack 8 or 6.
Jack, Jack.
The 8 beats him.
266.
Next thing I got pocket 9s. I limp. Joseph limps as well. And he has more chips than me. I have more than 1,000 in my stack, so I got a red flag. He goes all in. Pretty tough spot for me, because 9s are good enough to call his all in. But Joseph has more chips than me in my left, and I feel like his range is really strong. And now, when I'm deciding what to do, Joseph says, fold, fold, which is pretty tough for me to do it, but I decide to trust him, and I fold. He calls, and he has queens. Oh my god, man.
Oh my god, bro.
If Joseph didn't say for me to fold, I honestly feel like I was gonna go all in. So thanks to Joseph, I didn't lose all my stack here, which is crazy. What makes the situation even crazier, I would lose for that guy in the river. He would hit a 10, and Joseph wins again, more than $1,000 pot. Next thing I get ace queen offsuit. I go all in against him. He's all in for $400, but he just lost the hand in the past, so he doesn't have his chips in front of him. But that's a $400 all in. I call. Flop is great. Turn in river not so much. He doesn't have a heart. I show the ace queen and it's good. In the end, the staff said he had only 300 and not 400.
Fine.
That's kind of unfair because he said it was 400, but that's fine. Winning little more than 1,000.
Yo, I gotta say, I need to go to the bathroom so bad, but there's no chance I'm gonna get out of here.
I just thought Casa House is pretty good. They don't have a lot of money.
Next thing I'm in the under the gun with ace queen offsuit. He folds in the dark, so now we're gonna play a normal hand. Joseph re-raises me to 45 from the under the gun +1. The player in my right, who was friends with the crazy guy, decides to call, and he's pretty crazy, so I decide to call the ace queen and play post flop. 3 players see the flop. The flop is ace 7-3 rainbow. Great flop for me. We both check to Joseph, who bets 35, playing my right calls. And here I could check raise, but I'm still losing to ace king, and the game is really deep, so I decide just to call and see the turn. Turn is a blank, a deuce of diamonds. We check to Joseph again, who checks back, and now I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm winning. River is a 7, not the best card, but it's okay. Most of the times I'm gonna still be winning here. I bet 110 now. They both fold and I take the pot.
No, you need to stop. There are two people with cards, and you have killed your hand with an all-in option. They are entitled to their hand.
Okay, the dealer was already stressed out with that guy because he was just doing whatever he wanted to do. And she was a great dealer. She was actually the best dealer I found in Resort World. And I understand her. But now understand what is happening. He went all in and he mucked his cards.
There's still another gentleman, so this gentleman is all in with no cards. I can call the floor for you.
No, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. If I see a card that it's callable, I'm gonna. Oh, come on, bro. Come on.
That's crazy, guys. Like, he went all in the dark and mucked his cards. And now I have a hand that I would totally call him, which is a really complicated spot. Like,
come on. No, I'm not a douchebag. I'm not a douchebag, man. Like, I have king jack here. Like, I would call a lean blind here. Bro, I'm not unfair with no one. I'm not unfair with no one. That's a fucked up situation. I rather you to give him back his cards because I want to call. But I'm not a douchebag. I'm not a douchebag.
Call the floor for you.
Call the floor.
Floor on 21.
Everybody here knows that I would call this hand here. Like, I don't have to lie nothing.
Okay, so this is pitter-patter happening.
That's crazy.
Small blind dead, big blind scared, fold, all in blind, all in blind, stone, fold. Hey.
No, bro. No. Relax. I'm gonna do what is fair. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Still has his hands in the
JY. My name is Romulo, and I'm fair. Like, I have king jack, and I would call. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll see you again. Are you coming tomorrow?
Bro, I'm gonna give you an offer. Give me $250, and I'm gonna be fine. I'm being honest to you, bro. That's fair. No, for real. Like, no, I have my option here.
No, sir.
in the end, I offered him to give me $250 and I would fold. And honestly, I think that's a fair deal because most of the times I'm gonna be way ahead of him with King Jack offsuit, and he got the offer.
What's up?
You haven't called. His hand is dead. If you'd called before his hand is in the muck, then the hand's gonna play out.
Yeah.
But his hand is in the muck. You haven't called.
Bro, here's
We're moving on.
how much he has in that stack. Yeah, we made a deal. It's done.
Well,
Okay, I call.
You can't make.
I call.
No. And he takes that. Firstly, you can't make a deal. You gotta give. He cannot give you.
Okay,
chips.
hey, yo, I'm gonna give you 3D outside. How much he has? No. Wait.
What are you doing?
I call.
We're moving on. You cannot call. We already established you cannot call.
Oh, okay.
If you call before he folds, the hand's gonna play out.
So it's done.
This 250 is his.
Okay,
Give you
it's all
chips
over.
on his
Okay,
stack.
okay.
In my opinion, the floor was tripping. Like, he was pretty much saying that the hand was over, but that's not fair with me because I didn't fold my hand. But the crazy guy was looking at me and saying, we're good, and saying that he accepted the offer for 250. I decided to trust the crazy guy, and hopefully he would be fair to me, and you guys will see if he was fair to me or not. So I fold the hand.
I'm just gonna let both of you know, you're not gonna be passing him any chips. You're not gonna be accepting any chips. I can't keep on coming back with the
It's
same
fine.
thing.
No, it's fine.
If it happens again, you're both gonna have to leave.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm all in blind.
This guy was a hell of a character. I got a serious question to you. What would you do in my spot, honestly? With King Jack offsuit, the guy goes all in blind and then mucks his cards. What would you do? Like, I want it to be fair, and I honestly feel like getting 250 clean is a fair deal. But what do you think about that? I want to hear your opinion. He goes all in the dark. I have ace 10 offsuit this time. I call. Ace turn versus ace deuce.
Thank you. Ace 10 over ace deuce offsuit.
I love the deuce. The deuce is loose.
Wow.
Oh my
Eight.
God,
Three deuces.
The deuce is loose.
How much is it? How much?
310.
310.
He wins the hand again, and I lose $310. It's fine, it happens. I'm not even mad with this. That's
10.
poker.
No. We do it later. We do it later. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's just because otherwise he's gonna take us out.
As you guys are seeing, he was a correct guy. He was trying to pay me off the 250,
We're good. Don't worry.
which is nice. Shout out for him. Next hand, I get pocket sevens. Playing my right calls in pocket sevens is just not good enough. Next hand, I'm in the low jack with pocket aces. He's in the small blind and he raises 55 in the dark. I call. He has like 650 in his stack. Amazing spot for me. Playing my right calls. And for sure I'm gonna raise here. The question is how much. And I chose to re-raise a sizing that doesn't kill the action in case he goes all in and the playing my right calls.
350.
So I re-raise to 350 and he goes into the tank. And he folds for the first time in this table. I made a mistake. I should have re-raised a little smaller, like 200. 200 was a great sizing here. And I just felt like he was going all in either way, but that was not the case. I made a mistake and I didn't extract as much value as I should, unfortunately. I decided to start straddling from the under the gun, and the reason for that is that I would invest $6 to be the last one to act. So that was a great investment in my opinion, because he was going all in the dark either way, and I would be the last one to act. He goes all in for 315. One player calls, and I see a horrible hand and I fold. Joseph is all in again against him. Huge pot, around $1,500 pot. He hits a queen in the river and wins the hand again. I'm cheering for Joseph. After he told me to fold that nines and I folded and he had queens, like I just feel I own him a lot. And I'm glad to see him winning again. The guy left. I still made some money on him, but the guy who made the most was Joseph, definitely. He left like 4K in this table, playing for like an hour and a half. Like, that was the craziest situation I have ever been inside Resorts World. This definitely doesn't happen that often.
You don't see this, man. This is like Christmas. I don't care that I lost. It just...
This guy is right. Like, that's the mindset that you have to have in a table like that. Poker is a game of risk taking that sometimes you're just gonna lose, but in the end you just gotta focus on making plus EV decisions. I made a mistake with the aces. I could definitely have made a lot more money in that hand. If I re-raised to 200, he would probably call. But in the end, great session overall. He paid me for the 250. He was a correct guy and shout out for him. Like, he was just crazy enough to be going all in on every hand, but he was a correct dude. And I hope he's a very wealthy guy who doesn't need the money he just lost. And in the end, we had a great session overall, winning $1,585. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. The mission of this channel is helping you become a better poker player, and see you guys next time.